Welcome back to the South Coast. Both teams started the season well, but can they continue that good form? We'll find out, and it's all building up to a South Coast derby. Okay, League Cup first round. Portsmouth got drawn away to Stevenage. As you can see, comfortable win. Shook the side up a little bit to try and give some players a rest because we've got this game, a game at the weekend, another game midweek, probably another game at the weekend after that. And we do not have enough central midfielders to cope with that. Not fit ones, anyway. We've got enough, probably, but at least a couple are out injured. So I had to rotate the side. Ended up putting Joe Rafferty on the defensive midfield, even though he can't play it. But yeah, comfortable win through to the next round, and we'll have the draw any moment now. Okay, this is where things get exciting. It's the Carabao Cup second round draw. I believe both teams will be in this, so there is that little chance that they could draw each other. But we'll see who comes out of that hat for who. Okay, so the first of our teams out of the hat, Portsmouth, got a championship side away to Birmingham. So we'll be hoping Birmingham play a weakened side for that one because they should be better than us. But it's a possible shot at the next round. I mean, depending on how fit our central midfield is, probably, because if they're half dead by then, we won't be going anywhere. Okay, Southampton have got a home draw. Who's it going to be? AFC Wimbledon. That should really be a bye into the next round. There is no excuse for us not winning that one. So yeah, probably 1 through, 1 out, but we'll see. Well, Southampton's second game of the season, and as you can see, a massive win away to Brighton. 5-0, dominated the game from start to finish. Got to put some players on for match sharpness towards the end, and we still scored after that happened. Mara didn't come on until 60-something minutes. Some great goals, and yeah, you might notice Roman Perraud, who I had said was not going to be my starting left back. I've kind of changed the way I'm analysing people now, and it's pointing definitely at him as left back. And he had a magnificent performance. 8.8, scored, set up Lavia for one of his 2 goals. Yeah, great result. Okay, first setback of the season for Portsmouth. We took the lead. 46 minutes, and then and here's where the rivalry rears its ugly head. Dan Unlundulu, on loan from Southampton, scored twice. Alfie May got a third. Cheltenham basically just destroyed us second half. I mean, you can see the XG here. It looks even, but this massive leap here was because Owen Dale's goal was basically a tap in from 4 yards. He had an open goal. So it was an enormously good chance to score. And it was basically the only one we created. I made the changes too late. That's on me. So yeah, very disappointing result. Well, we bounced back well from the Cheltenham disaster. First half was poor from both sides, to be perfectly honest. There was one highlight. It wasn't a good one. Second half, we went from balance to positive. More on the front foot. We're expected to win this one. And you can see from the XG graph here that we just took off in the second half. I mean, one of those goals was a tap in, hence the massive XG for it. But Cambridge did very little once we started pushing onto them a bit more. And yeah, comfortable 2-goal win. Both goals, Colby Bishop. So he'll probably keep his place in the lineup now ahead of Joe Pigott for a while, because Pigott was terrible against Cheltenham. Okay, first defeat of the season for Saints. At home to Liverpool, you'd expect that. The fact that it was only 1-0, I'm quite pleased with, to be perfectly honest. And second half we went sort of actually more defensive despite being down, and we really limited them. So I think if I'd gone that way from the off, maybe we'd have got a point, but it wasn't to be. Well, another crackingly disappointing performance from Portsmouth. The only goal we got was a penalty. Never really looked like scoring any other goals. Conceded 2 goals from almost identical set pieces, and yeah, just pathetic. Deserved to lose. So League Cup second round, comfortable 5-1 win over AFC Wimbledon. It was all over in about 13 minutes. Selim Amala came on, scored another hat-trick, just like he did in the friendly we started him in. And yeah, mostly backups were in, and people trying to get some match sharpness. But yeah, a good win. Well, as predicted, Portsmouth are out of the League Cup, the Carabao Cup. Shockingly bad defensive performance in the first half. Can't defend a set piece to save our lives. And yeah, I mean, the fact we actually made a game of it seemingly in the second half, I think the 4-2 scoreline still flattered us, to be honest. Well, Saints have just come out of the hat for the third round, and wouldn't you know it, it's away Birmingham who just knocked out Portsmouth. Well, thoroughly disappointing result. A penalty was the only goal they got. Stupid shove at a free kick. And James Ward-Prowse, I don't know what he was thinking. He just basically scissored someone from behind. Weirdly, after he went off, we actually, I mean, throughout the entire second half, we looked the better side, but we just couldn't get the goal. We hit the post. Armstrong missed a good chance. Just, yeah, very disappointing defeat. Well, another disappointment from Portsmouth. I should be used to that by this point. We came back into it in the second half. I mean, you can see from the XG thing, dominated the second half. Only scored a penalty. Not good enough. Well, it was a win. It should be. It's against lower division opposition. Papa John's Trophy. We weren't particularly convincing, to be honest, but I'll take the result. Well, it's the third straight defeat. Nothing that we weren't expecting. Home Man City. It's the manner of the goals that were disappointing, because we all know City can just basically tear you apart. Tearing yourself apart by being stupid, I don't like that. Turns out we actually performed a lot better. Well, we kept them scoreless, but then maybe they just stopped trying. When we actually went at them rather than sitting back and trying to hit them on the break. So maybe there's a lesson, but I don't know. Just humiliating, quite frankly. Right, we've come back on the 3rd of September for the couple of games we'll show you this episode. Basically because it's a South Coast derby, clearly not the South Coast derby. Bournemouth always get above themselves on this one. And it's Southampton away to Bournemouth, so we'll show you the other game, the Portsmouth game from today as well, because it just makes sense to do that. Let's just get JWP back in the lineup. Now, we have got a new signing who we can hopefully show you. Well, I'm not going to start him today, but I am going to put him on the bench. It is Roberto Gagliardini, who is here on loan from Inter Milan for the rest of the season. He's a very good midfielder. Unfortunately, obviously lacking a bit in the way of sharpness at the moment. That said, I might bung him in anyway, to be honest, because we've got people in there who are really struggling to cope with the workload. No, stuff it, you're playing. Right, we are actually going to switch back to that tactic today, because the one we played against Manchester City basically just... Oh, for goodness sake, Bella Kotchap can't play. Well, where is he? Where in the name of Satan's arse are you, Bella Kotchap? This is the problem when you filter out the unavailable ones. You can't see the little buggers that are actually genuinely unavailable. Which is a complete waste of my time, isn't it? Right, well that means Diallo is going to get on the bench. Just get in there. Right. Are we all here? Are we all fit and available and actually legitimately ready to play? Good. Right. 26. It's supposed to be 25, but I misclicked. Anyway, frustrating start to life aside. It's going to be even more frustrating if we lose to bloody Bournemouth, because I can't stand Bournemouth. Word plucky was invented for them, and they aren't a small club anymore. And the sooner they realise that, the better. 5 years of Premier League money, you are no longer small, Bournemouth. Right, we're actually going to go positive. Ooh, it's absolutely tipping down here. Perro! Oh, I thought we were going to hit one for a minute then. Still got it. Looks it back. Ward-Prowse. Pathesis! Oh, fires it just over. He's done okay since coming in, I think, Pathé might kind of lose his spot once Gagliardini gets up to speed. Because I think it's going to be sort of him and Ward-Prowse in the defensive and box-to-box sort of midfield roles. Well, this has been a thrilling first half, hasn't it? My God. Well, that was good. Right, you've been terrible. What are you doing? Now, said Pathé was playing all right. He's actually going to come off. I'm going to put Gagliardini in for him. I know he's not match sharp, but Pathé has actually been a bit disappointing, despite the fact he's actually the only person whose shot we've actually seen. Right, come on, lads. It's Bournemouth, for heaven's sake. I mean, Bournemouth, boys. They're not a thing that's actually good. Right, come on, close them down. Get that press going. Win it. Or just let him bring it down. The choice is yours, you muppet. Oh. Right, Che Adams, you've been an absolute useless muppet today, haven't you? Oh, for goodness sake, well, I've forgotten to put... Where is... Oh, there's Shelderup, right. I'm a mess. I'm an absolute mess in this game. Right, Shelderup, left side, on for El Yunusi. Okay, I'm going to put Joe Aribo on for you as well, because you haven't played particularly well. Right, mixing it up. Let's go. 2 shots, neither of them on target. That's pathetic against Bournemouth. Right. Bloody well go for it. I don't care if we lose at this point. Just do something. Have a shot on target. Trying it. Oh, you're not going to, are you? You're not going to. That is pathetic. That is an absolutely pathetic performance. It's not even a performance, is it? Right, you are going to get an absolute ripping for this one. Right, that was pathetic. Pathetic, pathetic, pathetic. So let's say it one more time, just so you get the message. Against the Bournemouth side that has not won this season. And you didn't even get a shot on target. You should all wear the cone of shame. Right, moving on. Right, well, it's Portsmouth's game. It's home at Peterborough. And it's been described by Andy Orford, who I remember watching at Portsmouth, as a must-win game. And he's probably not wrong, to be fair. Right, Tunnicliffe is going to come back in. And Morrison can go back in at the back. Rafferty back in at left back. Or right back, rather. Ogilvie can come back in at left back. I mean, it was a much changed lineup last time. Colby Bishop can come back in. Tyree Wilson can come back in. I mean, this midfield has taken a battering. It's just been 4 of them covering 3 slots with games 2 a week since basically the start of the season. And I think that's probably part of why we are struggling. Have we got Ruth? Oh, yeah, of course. Actually, let's stick Pennington on the bench instead of Freeman and take Freeman out of there. Yeah, I think that's probably a reasonable amount of the reason we have been struggling is because basically that midfield is just dead on its feet. I could have rested them, I know, for training and everything, but I keep forgetting, if I'm honest. Right, well, I seem to have inspired them, but whether that will do anything or not is another matter. I fear for us if they get set pieces. We are terrible at set pieces, and no, I haven't changed the way we defend set pieces because all I could do was basically put a few more people back there. I don't quite see that that's going to help when what's the problem is letting people just have free runs at crosses. But there we go. And, well, that's a cracking start. Well done, boys. Jeez. Well, our great starts of the season is our distant memory at this point. See, and we don't get the breaks on those things. If that was them, would have fallen to them. Oh, for God's sake, Rafferty, you useless lump. Right, it's telling me I should take him off. V feels he can carry on. So he can bloody well carry on and lump it, can't he? I always get conflicting views from that. I always say, oh, you need to take him off. Right, I'm going to demand more. You haven't got a single shot on target. Right, let's work the ball into the box because that seems to be part of our problem, allegedly. I get told that almost every time. That we shoot, but we're shooting too far out and we're never going to score from there. I mean, the fact that we seem to be able to concede long-range bangers is neither here nor there. And yes, as you can tell by the tone of my voice, I'm getting very frustrated with this Portsmouth side. Tyree Wilson, right? Assistant seems to be uninterested in lifting a flag, so we'll take that. 1-1. Tyree Wilson I have been pleased with. He has been a good signing, actually. I'm going to take the entire credit for that one. And I mean, it's been a pretty even first half, looking at that. I think both teams being level is pretty much on there. Owen Dale, you've been useless, haven't you? Right. Sort your lives out. Those of you who can't be bothered to play football. Right, let's go positive. Yeah, alright, play for set pieces as well. Go on, go for it. Do it! Bit of encouragement. Right, who's playing rubbish? Oh, someone's taken a knock. Owen Dale, who was a candidate for coming off because he's absolutely bloody awful. Wouldn't be surprised if he kicked himself in the shin. Footballing equivalent of shooting yourself in the foot. In the trenches. Right, yeah, Tunnicliffe is tired, so... Well, actually Lowry's even more tired, and Marlon Pack's more tired again, but playing better, so Morrell's going to come on for you. So this is the problem, I have to have, by the end of this game, going to have two completely dead central midfielders on the pitch. I'm just hoping we can at least take something from it. I mean, the game seems to have died a death. Oh, there we go. Just a chance. Oh, thank God for that. I thought he was going to win that and career away on the counter-attack for a minute. Ogilvy. Well, the counter-attack is still on. Get there. I'll rag it. What's the point of you getting there if you're just going to give him the bloody ball? You might as well let it go out for a throw-in. And we can at least wander back, can't we? Rather than having to sprint back because you're an idiot. Well, I mean, a little disappointed not to have won that in the end because we were the better side second half. But considering we weren't all that good still, take a draw. Oh well. Okay, as you can see after that magnificent performance, we are 11th at Southampton, having not won in 4 after a brilliant start to the season, so well done, boys. Portsmouth are 10th, again, good start, gone completely to waste by being absolutely bloody useless for several weeks in a row. So yeah, both teams doing what they do best and frustrating the living daylights out of people. But I suppose it's Portsmouth's choice of game when they come back. So, shall we come back for Ipswich? At which point our midfield might be slightly less dead. But yeah, we'll come back for the Ipswich game on the 1st of October, which means Southampton get whom? Brentford. So that'll be another disappointing result, no doubt. But it's not like we shouldn't be match fit at that point. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us. Just remains for me to say like, comment and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.